Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon, Flat Earth Homeland. That's the Ozark Plateau, by the way. My Operation Ephraim's Rescue and the Ozark Plateau Headquarters, Relocation Association Headquarters. Hey, everything can have two purposes, okay? I wanted to kind of close off that door. I did on both doors. Those army cots, which I'm not using now since I'm on the airbed. Thank you, Jersey. So they make pretty decent closures, and I just got a box and stove thing. It's not a great heater, but it's pretty, which is why, it's kind of the Americans will buy this. Hey, sorry, it's the truth. I think it's cool. Very nice ambiance. And it's, like I said, not a great heater, but hey, whatever. Okay, now what I want to talk about tonight is, things that are going to do double purpose, just real quick, and then I want to get into some health issues, okay? Healing modalities. So, to hang the sheet on the door, there are curtain rods up there, and I wanted to hang a sheet on the door, and I said, man, there's no way to hang it, and Georgie's like, what about those clothespins? And I went, I already did it. So, yeah, there's this kind I got has different sizes. There's a wee little one, and then there's a medium one, which I'm using for something else right now, and then there's a bigger one, so there's one in between those two, and there. This one obviously is a lot stronger. So, absolutely multiple use. I mean, hey, tripwires, alarm signal. You can do with, people use mouse traps. Mouse traps are good because, you have a metal connector, boom, connects a circuit. Something electronic goes off, whatever, ignites a boom or a light or connects a circuit and turns a light on. So, okay, I already had on my mind to do some health issues, and I want to talk about that tonight. So then I was sipping on some coffee. We'd gone around and around that about a couple things, Jersey keeps saying, well, people say that you should drink 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day, and I'm like, oh, that's just crazy, caffeine's not good for you. I had gotten to the point where I just despised the jittery, I gotta eat, feeling that I got when I drank coffee. And so I started drinking just putting molasses and some chocolate if I had it, and, just honey or whatever, and just drinking that, just something to sip on, because the caffeine blast, I don't like it at all. So one day I was, I'm saying I was sipping that coffee, and then I went and got some kombucha, which I'm going to talk about, fermented drink, tea, to talk about. I'm going to talk about health things. That's the topic I was going to talk about. So, Jersey, we're in a little, and what about that coffee I got you? I'm like, oh, thank you. So, might as well start off with that, since I've started off with that. And I'll come back to the kombucha. So I was, we kind of go around, and I don't know why. I just, this is beyond me, but it was timing. Synchronicity, Holy Spirit, the way, way seers, whatever you want to call it. But I sent her some things about Ganoderma. It's a mushroom. And probably at the exact same time, her and her brother were talking, and they do study online she gets on the computer and they talk, and they were talking about Ganoderma mushroom, Ganoderma lucidum, lucid thinking. But so let me get a light over here. Okay. Ganoderma, that's what the little package looked like, and that's their classic, okay? I'm going to say more about it here in a minute. I think it's a picture of the mushroom there. Yeah, I actually bought some of the mushrooms. They're big, We never did anything with it. It was really stupid. But anyway, that's the classic. It's just coffee, okay? Just coffee. They have 3-in-1 with sugar and creamer and, blah, blah, blah. And that's more expensive. And you don't get as many in a box. And the box, show you the box here. That's okay. Ganoderma. Okay. Gano Cafe. Classic. Okay. So I wouldn't get. I mean, you can try the other ones, but they're a lot more expensive. They're heavier. You don't get as many. Instead of getting 30, you only get 20 in a box, or maybe 15 if it's the Tongat Alley, which is like a tea or something. Really good, but it's expensive. So anyway, there's like 30 sackets in a box. So fabulous stuff. Well, we had gotten into it years ago, and when it first started, and it was in Missouri, and we're doing it. It's network marketing, multi-level. So anyway, and at the time it was summer, and I had been, generally I would, probably back then, I don't know what I was doing, if I was doing any work or whatever, but I know I would wake up. I think it's when we first moved in to the farm there on back in Cedar County, and I would wake up and sluggish, and then nap and not do too much. And I sort of started drinking this stuff, and then I'd get up and start doing stuff and working, and in the heat, and work all day and just put in a whole day, and I'm like, wow, cool, So very good stuff. Weight loss, all good, clearer thinking. So, Jersey got a case of it, 5, of them boxes. So I highly recommend that. I really highly recommend that. Awesome stuff. Really, totally awesome. So that's the one thing I want to talk about, and that's it's network marketing if you're into that. And I mean, we have over my span of for the last 40 years, I've been into, we were in Shackley for many years. And after 10 years of going to meetings, hundreds of meetings, dozens of meetings, probably hundreds of meetings, literally, our supervisor, I said, well, after 10 years, you were a supervisor when we started, and you're still a supervisor. Well, maybe I only want to ever be a supervisor. Well, why didn't you tell us that when we started? We could have could have done something other than blow 10 years of our life not doing anything, spinning our wheels, since you don't want to do anything. Well, whatever. But we learned a lot. It was good. I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for their products, I don't think. Herblex and alfalfa. I would most likely be dead of some gross form of indigestion and digestive caused issues. So, all right. Kombucha. Kombucha is simple. It's black tea, green tea, whatever. You could probably ferment anything. You can do coffee. I did try a batch, but whatever. I'm not going to go into that. Basically, 4 bags of tea and a quart of water, a pound of sugar, and you steep the tea. I just put it in a quart jar and put in 4 bags, fill it up, boiling water, let it sit for an hour. And then you put in another 3 quarts, cool it down, put in your sugar. Like I usually do the sugar in a, in a half-gallon jar. Mix it up, and then when I pour the hot water into that, you can pour the hot water in right away, and that'll cool it down enough. Stir the sugar up, makes it quicker for the sugar to dissolve, and then top off a gallon glass jar with, so you're doing a gallon. So 4 quarts, 4 bags, and 1 pound of sugar. Pretty simple. Now you got to have a starter, a culture, which is basically a mother, I believe that you could take, I haven't done this, but it will work. You could get some Bragg's apple cider vinegar and just pour out the vinegar real carefully and just take the mother, and it would make a more vinegary taste, but it would culture. You're just looking at culturing something, fermenting something, okay? So, and before I go any further, I want to make the point that years ago, this a guy who I was associated with. And memories, sorry. But he said, Brother Jerry, I believe that the Father showed me that he's going to give us all these free and cheap things to take care of our health, because we got to be able to take care of our health. One guy said, the thing I'm most worried about, about moving out in the country and stuff is health care. And I'm like, so who cares a rip about health care? Obamacare, and some people are tied up in that. I never was, never did, never had health insurance. How do you stay alive? Well, when the doctors go on strike in certain countries, death rate goes down. So I could add up the years, but 35, I think I added it up 5 times 30, about in 150 years, roughly, give or take, of my 5 children's life. One time, one of them's been to the doctor, and that was because he broke his arm, and his bones were sticking out of his arm here. And he tried to push him back in, And he said, Mom, I don't think this is going to work. He goes into the house. And so we gave him arnica and took him to the hospital. And the nurse about 10 times checked his dilated pupils. I need to check his pupils. Why is he so calm? We're just like, I don't know. He's a good kid, tough kid, high pain threshold. Gave him arnica, and he's just like blitzed out. Just real. It's calm. It's a homeopathic remedy, very cheap. Another thing to put in the back of your mind. I'm not going to go into it on this one, but homeopathic remedies, you can get 100 remedies in a reloading box. In other words, for doing handgun ammunition, 45 long Colt, 44 mag, 45 long Colt, reloading box, 100 remedies in a box that big, and they will treat thousands upon thousands upon thousands of conditions, including Ebola, Zaire, and all different kinds of things. Anything, virtually anything. Okay, so cheap, very cheap, very cheap. No, that kit is like $150, $200, whatever. So pause. All right. I had something in my mind that I started on, then I got off on the homeopathic thing. Okay. Cheap. Kids, never did go to the hospital for nothing. And so back to that, the cheap and free thing, the fermenting, kombucha is basically free. Once you get anybody will give you a mushroom. They call it a mushroom, but it's a SCOBY, symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Okay, it's this thing you see in vinegar, okay, apple cider vinegar. So you get you can get one. Somebody will send you one, whatever, and you let it go for about a week, and then you can. I won't get into this, but you can add flavoring. Blueberry. You can use real blueberries, real peaches, or peach flavoring. You can use essential oils, orange, lemon, lime, grapefruit, whatever you want, however you want to flavor it. You can use essential oils. You can use real fruit. You can use flavorings of whatever kind. And then if you cap it in a Grolsch bottle, with the beer bottles that you flip down, lock down, they have a real straight wall neck, and they will hold pressure, and you can ferment it, and then you have a carbonate. It'll carbonate because it'll continue to pressurize. Now, the other kind of flip-top things that just go in a regular beer bottle will pop off and blow, and make a mess. They don't work. The Grolsch bottles are the only ones that'll work, really. And if you don't take it out in time, they will blow. We have had broken bottles. So they do build up pressure. Good taste and stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah, phenomenal. So, and then one other thing is on the thing of fermenting and continuing to culture things, and that is that you can take enzymes. You can take like nattokinase. I'll go into that later. You can take Cerezyme, which is another enzyme, Wobenzyme, whatever enzymes you have, probiotics. Get some raw milk from somebody. Plop it in there. Okay, let it grow. You'll have yogurt or whatever, or maybe kefirized stuff, phenomenal. The Cerezyme, one guy just called it Zymu Goo, because it made a goo and it was Cerezyme, Zymu Goo. So it's kind of a family friend nickname for the stuff. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to cut it off. Jerry Diamond, you are the remnant if you're listening.